Welcome back to Generative AI 101, the podcast where we make the weird and wonderful world of AI just a little less weird and hopefully a lot more wonderful. I'm your host, Emily Laird, your resident tour guide to the machines and the friendly voice making sure you don't get left behind in the great robot takeover. I'm totally kidding for now, okay? Today, we're beginning our AI in manufacturing mini-series exploration. This is part of this AI and industry exploration we're just going to dig into because let's be real, this is where the magic is actually happening. So let's talk about it. And let's talk about the implications one industry has to another because trust me, they bridge because I get to work with all kinds of industries. And there is a lot of overlap and there's a lot of things happening in one space that are going to have trickle-down effects to another. So I get to work and engage in a ton of different industries, adapting AI, and I have to say manufacturing is by far my favorite. So buckle up, folks, because we're about to take a wild, wild ride from mechanized mayhem to AI-driven magic. Welcome to Generative AI 101. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk history. Now, not drunk history, although that's my favorite. This is just regular history. So manufacturing has always been a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of business until, of course, something better came along to break it for you. So picture this. It's the early days of the Industrial Revolution. If you've got this massive shift from human labor to machines, the loom, an invention that seemed pretty basic to us now, was totally revolutionary. One machine could now do the work of dozens of people, but it wasn't just the machines. It was the mindset shift from craftsmanship to production. For the first time, speed and quantity ruled. Then the early 20th century hits and things got even weirder. Henry Ford slapped a conveyor belt on that factory floor and suddenly cars were coming out faster than fast food orders during a lunch rush. Efficiency became the holy grail. Here's the thing. As groundbreaking as Ford's assembly line was, and it was still a rigid system. Every car was basically the same. We couldn't yet imagine the level of customization and agility that AI would bring us a century later. So here's your first big aha moment. AI didn't just revolutionize how we make things, it revolutionized how we think about making things. In Ford's day, production lines were like the DMV, slow, bureaucratic, and totally soul-sucking. You could optimize them a bit, but they were still inflexible. Now enter AI, and suddenly, production lines are more like your favorite customizable burger joint. Infinitely flexible, fine-tuned in real time, and always optimizing based on the next batch of data. Take predictive maintenance, for instance. Okay, so in the old days, machines would run until something broke, and then production would grind to a halt while a guy with a wrench tried to fix it. Today, AI is like the hyper-alert worker who spots a loose bolt a mile away. It monitors machines in real time, predicting breakdowns before they happen. We're not just keeping the factory humming, we're preventing it from hitting a wrong note in the first place. And I have seen these systems in action, and they are totally wild and totally cool. So the one I'm most familiar with uses a system that is like red, yellow, green. Pretty simple and pretty straightforward to us humans, right? We know if a machine, especially a tier 1, meaning if that factory goes down with that machine, we're not making any money. And that's the problem, okay? So tier 1s are always the top ones that are monitored the most with this predictive maintenance, and we'll get into it, but it's fascinating. It watches all kinds of different factors, and it's going to alert you when that beautiful tier 1 machine goes from green to yellow. And you better get ready to fix it, because like I said, if it gets into red, you have a problem. So that's efficiency you can't even dream of without AI's brain. And here's this light bulb moment. AI isn't just doing the work for us, it's actually making us smarter about how we run the whole show. We're watching things like predictive analytics, and we're getting a better idea of how efficient our machines are actually running. That, my friends, is your light bulb moment for implications across all industries. Think of your IT department. Think of your marketing campaigns. All of the ways that predictive analytics are working in manufacturing engineering have implications into all kinds of other fields. It's all there. All right, now let's step up a level. Okay, so let's get to generative AI, the reason we're all here. Now, I'm not talking about a machine that just prints out reports or cranks out widgets faster. I'm talking about AI that actually creates. So let's use General Electric as a case study here. So GE used to spend months designing prototypes for jet engines, and I grew up around jet engines. Engineers would tinker and test, tweak and restart. But now, thanks to generative AI, that same process is happening in days. The AI spits out multiple prototypes at once, refining designs faster than any team of humans ever could. Now, here's the kicker. This AI isn't just mimicking what humans do, it's coming up with things we could never have thought of. Its design suggestions are based on billions of data points, far beyond what any human mind could grasp, even what human teams could get through. It's like having an intern who not only fetches your coffee, but somehow invents a better coffee machine while doing it. They're hired for me. If you're out there, you call me right now. Suddenly, we're innovating faster, cheaper, and more creatively. And I've seen this happen. I've seen teams, maybe I'll talk about this in later podcasts. I've seen teams connect this type of tech to 3D printing for modeling, and it is incredible. It is some of the coolest, innovative stuff I have ever seen. All right, so that's generative AI, not just doing the same thing faster, but changing the way we think about design and production. Now, here's where my brain kind of pops, okay? This isn't limited to jet engines, right? Think about rapid prototyping for everything from electronics to sneakers. Brands are using generative AI to streamline production and launch products faster than you can refresh your Instagram feed. This tech is making manufacturing fluid, flexible, and deeply creative in ways we couldn't have imagined even a decade ago. So let's not forget the workers in this whole equation. People are always panicked that AI is going to steal their jobs. But here's a fact. AI doesn't replace workers, it augments them. Frontline workers are now equipped with AI-powered tools that make decision-making easier and faster. A factory worker can now consult AI like a digital oracle, predicting which parts are needed, identifying potential slowdowns, or suggesting the best path to meet quotas. And I actually got to see an incredible VR. We'll talk about VR, but VR in manufacturing. So there's a company out there that I had the pleasure of engaging with who developed VR training for staff so they were able to better identify product defects. So this is where AI is collaborating with humans in a VR space to better train you to be better at your job. Right? So it's creating these virtual reality spaces where you can actively engage in decision making without any negative repercussions. And that's incredible. And that's kind of the final aha for today. So AI isn't a job stealer, it's really a job evolver. And that's your final aha moment for today. Like AI isn't job stealing, not yet anyway. And I think if a lot of companies are smart, they're going to focus more on human productivity, meaning AI for job evolution, than human replacement. The future isn't one where machines rule over humans, but where humans team up with machines to do better work than either could alone. This is where we get to flying cars. This is where we get to the next plane, the one we were promised in the Jetsons, but we just haven't seen yet. And that's going to be it for today's episode of Generative AI and our first peek into the world of AI in manufacturing. We're going to keep deep diving this a little bit more before we switch industries. We've gone from steam engines to AI that predicts the future, and we are just getting started. If this episode left you with questions or thoughts, hit me up on LinkedIn, Emily Laird, Laird. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and remember, you know more about AI in manufacturing than you did when you arrived.